What's going on, everybody? Lil Chris here, and in today's video I've got something a little different. If you've been following the channel, you'll know that I've been doing a bunch of live streams lately of me playing straight pool, as I'm doing this Road to 100 series to see how long it's going to take me to score 100 points in just one inning. And currently my best is 46. Now, in one of those previous live streams, I had a viewer ask me if I could explain my thought process on how I aim shots. Well, instead of just staring at the camera explaining myself, I got back on the table and basically conducted a live ghost ball lesson. So check this segment out, and I'll see you when it's over.
Kevin Hulick, can you please cover your thought process of aiming shots? Well, I mean, I can do that right now because I'm a ghost ball aimer, and then I also use a little bit of fractional aiming. So I have a video on ghost ball. So like this is literally what I do. Most of the time, actually, do I need to? You know what? I'm gonna zoom the camera out. Actually, I'm gonna switch to this. We're gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna briefly zoom this out, and then I'll zoom it back in later. So we're gonna zoom out to where you can hopefully see a little bit more. I think right about there should be fine. So everybody should be familiar with ghost ball. So if I were to attempt to make this 10 ball into the side pocket, the idea is to picture a ball right next to the 10 ball where the contact spot would be, because this is basically what your cue ball would look like the moment it comes in contact with the 10 ball to be able to go into the side pocket. So the idea is you want to be able to line up center to center with the ghost ball in order to make that happen. So since you don't have you can obviously do that in practice, and especially if you have a partner, because your partner can sit there and do this for you, and then you can get down on the shot and try to aim. And then when you think that you got it, tell your partner to move the ball out of the way and find out if you're right. I actually also posted a straight in drill that's supposed to help you figure that out as well, is to be able to help correct your aim. Because when you think about it, every time you get down to shoot a shot, when you're sitting there making your minor little tweaks to know, like, if you're going to put any side spin, or maybe you're just going to adjust slightly to the left or adjust slightly to the right, to make sure that you see and feel like you're going to make the shot. But the moment you pull the trigger and shoot, you're going to find out if you're right or wrong, right? So if you're wrong, think about it. When you shot, you thought everything you did was right, but the end result is wrong. So what was really wrong? Well, hopefully you can rule out that your stroke was crooked, and maybe you had some unintended cue ball deflection that you probably didn't compensate for. But let's say you ruled all that out, and the only thing that was wrong was what you saw that you thought was right was actually incorrect. And there's no way for me to teach you how to correct your aim. You have to be able to see whatever it is that you're seeing and realize this isn't right. And so the next time you see this same, I always like to call it painting a picture. Whenever you're down on the shot, you basically paint a picture in your mind and see the angle that you're about to strike that object ball. Because then if it's wrong and you miss the shot, well, the next time you set that shot up, you can try to paint the same picture. And if you are able to do that, then you should know that you're going to miss. So therefore, you have to paint a new picture. So when I look at this 15 ball, what you'll usually see me do when I'm looking at whatever ball I'm going to make, I'll come straight over behind the ball to be straight in with the pocket that I want to go into. And so what I used to do as practice is I would put the tip of my cue fairly close to the contact point, but then I would just move my cue back about an inch to give me where the center of the ghost ball is. And then I would just pivot my cue over to the cue ball. And so right there's my line that I hopefully have to be able to follow. So what I'll do is put my right foot right on the line, because I'm a right-handed player, right on the line with the shot line, step forward with my left foot so that way I can just get down on the shot, and hopefully there should be nothing I would have to change. And I should be able to make the shot. Now, as I try to get position on another ball, that'll be, putting top spin or bottom spin, but all I wanted to demonstrate was being able to make the shot. And so if we were to do something like that again, the only difference is I'm not going to put my cue down, because what I've done since I've practiced this so much, I can picture that spot 1 inch away, or at least an inch and like 3/16. I don't remember what the exact measurement is, because the cue ball and the object ball are 2 1/4. So whatever half that is, and I don't even know what it is off the top of my head. That's pretty much what I try to envision the spot on the table of where the ghost ball is at. So when I'm sitting back here looking at the 4 ball, and I see that spot on the table, well then as I shift over to the cue ball, my attention does not leave that spot that I found. And I'm doing the same thing to where from here, I should be able to see from up here if my cue ball is lined up with that spot. So hopefully what you see is I'm placing my right foot right in line with the shot line, that I'm gonna send the cue ball. And you can see that I have my left foot forward. So usually what you'll see me do is like this. I'll step into it and then come down into the shot. So as long as I feel that I'm lined up here, when I get down, I'll actually see the shot here, and this is where I might make some minor little tweaks. But everything looks okay to me. Let's find out if I'm right or wrong. And I was slightly wrong, right? Because I caught the point and still managed to bobble its way in. Because really, I don't want to touch the point of the pocket at all. I just want the ball to go clean in. All right. So every time I shoot a ball, it's just a rinse and repeat. So if I look at the 2 ball and I'm going to try to spin the 2 ball, I'm going to shoot the 2 ball into that corner pocket over there. So I do the same thing. I try to sight right the spot on the table for the ghost ball. And then as I walk around to the cue ball, I'm still staring right at that spot until I feel like I'm starting to get lined up to where the cue ball, the center of the cue ball, is going right to that spot. Because then when I step into my shot to get down on the ball, and I'll even apply some spin to the cue ball, we'll put a little bit of left spin because I'm going to stun over to the side rail with some left spin. When I pull that trigger, like I said, I feel this is where you could say like the feeling of the shot comes in, right? Because it looks right and it feels right. And then when you finally pull the trigger, if it's right, it's right. But I can do this to where like I'm gonna purposely miss, and you're not really gonna be able to see what I'm talking about because you obviously can't see what I'm seeing. But it's like, okay, well I come over here and I look. And then, but I realize what I'm looking at is I'm not picturing this spot. I'm actually picturing this spot, something that's just a little too far away for what the center of the ghost ball would be. This is a very common mistake that I see people that try to use the ghost ball. They either picture the spot on the table that's too close to the object ball, or they picture a spot on the table that's too far away from the object ball that would actually represent the center of the ghost ball. So let's say the center of the ghost ball is actually right here. So if I line up for that, which looks right about here, I'm going to get down on the shot, and the experience of that you're going to have is you're going to sit here and look at this and go, yeah, this looks right. But then all of a sudden you pull the trigger and you realize you end up overcutting the ball. But when you do that, you can't just walk away and just dismiss the shot. It's very similar to bowling. Like you don't throw the ball down the bowling alley and then just turn around. You end up watching the ball go down the lane and see how it actually strikes the pins. So this is the same thing to where when I saw that I missed that shot, I have to be able to figure out, well, what the heck did I do wrong? Was it my stroke? Did I just not aim correctly? Start eliminating every variable that you can possibly do to realize that, yeah, I just didn't aim correctly. So instead of aiming here, which is too far away, I get a little closer, see the spot that I need to see, get all settled in. While I'm down here, this is where I finalize everything to make sure it all looks okay. I haven't actually moved yet, and there we have it. Like that's the only way I know how I end up processing the ghost ball. And then I also use a little bit of fractional aiming as well, because I can actually picture actually let me get the cue ball because this will make more sense. When I use a little bit of fractional aiming, I can actually try to picture how much of the cue ball is actually going to strike the object ball when I'm down on the shot. So I try to imagine like this is what how the cue ball overlaps the object ball if I'm doing like a 3/4 ball hit, or this is how the cue ball overlaps the object ball if I'm doing a half ball hit, et cetera, et cetera. So, but that's years of practice for me to be able to do that. But it all evolves around finding that spot on the table for the ghost ball. Because if you can find that spot on the table for the ghost ball, then there's nothing else you really have to worry about. Like you don't even have to worry about looking at the object ball because you don't care. You're actually just trying to send the cue ball to a specific spot on the table. And if done correctly, the result is yielding that you make a ball. And then depending upon the spins that you put on the cue ball is going to determine whether or not if you get position on another ball. So that's a nice long-winded answer there. So I hope that helps, and I hope that makes sense. Let me fix the camera. Go back to here, apply, and say okay. Let's turn this back on, and let's switch back to this. There. So there was like some on the fly lesson there that hopefully that makes sense. I mean, you could sit there and watch a YouTube video. You can sit here and listen to me, try to do some live coaching or whatever. But until you get on the table yourself, none of it's going to matter, right? You have to be able to get on the table, understand how that works, and then understand how to put it in practice and actually, one, make it work for yourself, right? Because things I do might not work out for other people. You might have to hear the explanation a little bit different. Someone might have to show you something a little bit different to make it work for you. But I can only explain it the way I know how to explain it, and then try to demonstrate it the way I know how to demonstrate it. And from what I've been told, I'm able to help people understand better with the way that I break down being able to do that stuff. So I hope that makes sense.
So what did y'all think of that? Because if you saw towards the end there, the viewer that had asked that question was very pleased with the explanation on top of the demonstration and was actually really excited and just couldn't wait to get back on the table to be able to try it out for themselves. But really, I want to know what y'all think of the live lesson versus a recorded lesson. Because I just feel that with a live lesson, I'm kind of restricted to just one camera angle, which is the main view, unless I want to take the time during the live stream to set up another camera angle, which allows you to be able to see a behind the scenes of how I set things up. And you also get to hear me stumble on my words, so the content itself doesn't come out as professional as I would like it to be, but I'm still able to get my point across. But I don't do this stuff to please myself. I do this stuff to make sure that you, as the viewers, are able to understand what it is that I'm trying to show and are actually able to replicate it. So really, do you think I still did that during a live stream versus how I do it during a recorded session? Let me know what you think about in the comment section below. And if you like what you saw here, then please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and then be sure to click the bell notification icon to be notified whenever I go live or publish a new video. Take care, everybody.